Okay, so to further understand the discussion from our concept earlier, let's have this sample problem. A reinforced concrete T-beam has a effective depth of 600 millimeter and is reinforced with 8 pieces of 28 millimeter diameter bars. The web width is 300 millimeter. The flange thickness is 120 millimeter and the beam has a span of 5.8 meters and has a spacing center to center equal to 1.5 meters. F prime C is equal to 21 megapascal and Fy is equal to 415 megapascal. Determine the width of the slab effective as T-beam in millimeter. So as you can see here, given tayo ng isang cross-section of a T-beam, particularly an interior beam, na kung saan yung nasa given natin na word problems dito is in conjunction with our figure. So of course, meron tayo dito thickness of the flange or thickness of the slab which is equal to the 120 millimeter, an effective depth which is the 600 millimeter, and this width of the web which is equal to 300 millimeter. Okay? So ang goal natin dito for this portion of the sample problem is we need to determine first this width of the flange kasi yan yung gagamitin natin later on when we are considering the nominal moment or the bending moment of this section. Okay? So first, let's determine what is the effective depth. So which is given tayo ng 600 millimeters. And then determine muna natin dito yung stress block factor or the value of the beta 1, which is this is dependent with your F prime C, which is ang given natin dito is 21 megapascal. So your beta 1 here is equal to 0.85. Now, let's solve for the value for our overhang flange, no? Kasi since interior beam yung pinag-uusapan natin dito, ibig sabihin lang nito dapat ang i-consider mo ditong overhang flange is dalawa at magkabilaan sila, no? So kapag na-solve mo yung value ng overhang flange from this provision, you need to add this width para makuha natin dito yung total span ng ating flange itself, no? Okay. So these are the criteria. So tatlo lang naman siya sa ating interior beam. So first is the 8 times of the thickness of the flange or thickness of the slab, and then clear span over 2, no? So clear span between the beams, then you need to divide it by 2. And lastly, the clear span of the beam which is divided by 8. Okay? So kailangan natin makuha dito kung sino yung pinakamaliit sa kanilang tatlo. Okay? So first, on the first criteria, which is 8 times of the thickness of the flange, so 8 times 120, ang lalabas dito is 960 millimeter. On the second one, which is yung clear span, please take note na yung clear span dito, kailangan interior beams, no? So, please take note na yung given natin na center-to-center span, which is 150, you need to divide it to the half of the beam, which is 300 over 2. Kaya lang kasi, kapag clear span, kailangan dalawang beam ang i-consider mo or based to assume dito na may katabi pa siyang isa pang beam. That's why 300 over 2 plus 300 over 2 ay mag-equal lang po siya sa 300 millimeters. That's why kung makikita nyo na dito, naka 300 millimeters na po siya. Over 2, this is equal to 600 millimeter. Yan yung pangalawa nating criteria. Then, sa last criteria natin, this is clear span of the length over 8. However, kasi, ang given dito is 5.8 meters. Para consistent siya with the two criterias, minultiply ko lang siya with the 1,000 para ang lalabas sa kanya ay in terms of millimeter. So that, the third condition here is now equal to 725 millimeter. Now, according to our provision in conjunction with this table for 06.3.2.1, we need to choose what is the smallest. So, sino ang pinakamaliit sa kanilang tatlo? So, ang pipiliin natin dito, of course, the second criteria, which is equal to 600 millimeters. Okay? Now, hindi pa tayo tapos dyan. Kasi, ang hinahanap kasi sa ating sample problem is the value for our width of the flange itself. Ang nakukuha pa lang natin dito ay overhang flange pa lang or etong nasa labas ng ating rectangular beam. Para ma-solve natin yung ating flange width, what you need to do here is you need to add 2 overhang flange kasi magkabilaan lang po sila. So, kaya naka times 2 po yan. And then, i-add mo ngayon dito yung width of the beam. Okay? So, ngayon, substitute lang natin which is 300 plus 2 times 600. So, ang lalabas ngayon ditong width of the flange is now equal to 150 millimeters. Yan yung answer natin for this sample problem. Now, let's proceed in the determination of the ultimate moment capacity ng ating section. Given na nasolve na natin dito yung ating flange width, so we can continue in determination for the area of compression block. Okay? So for the area of compression block, we will assume two scenarios here or two cases. The first case here, if the height of equivalent rectangular stress block is less than to the thickness of the flange. So binabantayan natin dito ay yung offset dimension na 120 millimeters. Ibig sabihin lang po niyan, yan po yung magiging itsura ng ating area of compression block. Which means kapag kinuha mo yung area of compression block based on this figure, so this is width of the flange multiplied by the height of equivalent rectangular stress block. So yan yung itsura niyan, no? Or ito yung magiging derived formula natin. Yung second case naman natin, kapag yung kanyang height na A is greater than 120 millimeters, is greater than 120 millimeters. Okay? So, ibig sabihin lang nito, possible na kasi na yung height ng ating A, bumaba na siya hanggang sa web section ng ating T-beam. That's why, kung obserbahan ninyo na mabuti yung itsura ng ating area of compression block, magkakaroon tayo ng dalawang area dito. First is yung flange, which is kapag kinuha mo yung area, width of the flange multiplied by the thickness. Okay? Yung pangalawa naman, yung nasa web section or yung nasa ilalim. Which is, para makuha mo yung height na ito, itong remaining height natin, what you can do here is you need to subtract yung value ng A sa kanyang thickness of the flange. Which is, para makuha mo yung area, i-multiply mo ngayon siya sa width ng ating beam. So, yan yung magiging cases natin on this portion. So, first case, kapag hindi siya lumagpas ng 120 millimeters, and yung second one naman kapag lumagpas na siya ng 120 millimeters. Okay? So, let's proceed with the still assumption. So, dalawang assumption ang gagawin natin dito. Una, sa yielding ng bakal. Pangalawa naman, sa case ng ating area of compression block. So, ako ang gagawin ko, I will assume first that by steel yields. Then followed by na yung geometry ko ng area of compression block ay nasa first case. Ibig sabihin lang po niyan, hindi po lalagpas ng 120 millimeters yung aking value ng A. So, yan yung magiging condition natin. Okay? So, mag-yield po yung mga bakal natin. So, let's proceed with the next solution. Alright, so let's have this assumption na ginawa natin kanina. So, of course, sa first case natin, which is dapat hindi na siya lalagpas ng 120 millimeters. So, ibig sabihin, we will use this first formula na na-derive natin in the determination of the area of compression block. So, what we need to do here is we need to use the equilibrium, no? So, yung ating equilibrium compatibility, of course, ang gagamitin natin dito ay yung galing sa non-rectangular sections or should I say, yung ginamit natin kanina sa ating derivation, which is yung area of the compression block dito sa portion na ito, it should be at width of the flange then multiply by the thickness of A. Okay? So, let's substitute lahat ng ating given, no? So, lumalabas na yung value ng ating A is equal to 76.351 millimeters, which is this is greater than the 120 millimeters. Ibig sabihin lang po niyan, tama yung ating assumption sa first case, which is dapat hindi na siya lalagpas ng 120 millimeters. So, let's compute first yung value ng depth of stress block para makuha natin yung value niya as 89.825 millimeters. Dahil yan po yung gagamitin natin as our checking doon sa una nating condition if mag-yield yung mga bakal natin. So, I will substitute this value of C and then yung ating effective depth para makuha natin yung actual rebar strength. So by simply substitute everything, ang makukuha nating rebar strength is now equal to 3,407.808 megapascal. Okay? Which is in comparison with our 415 megapascal, the yielding strength, our steel rebar or this is yield or the rebar assumption still yields. Ibig sabihin lang po nun, tama na yung assumption natin na mag-yield talaga yung ating reinforcement. At the same time, is nag-satisfy yung condition natin for the value of A na dapat hindi na siya lalagpas ng 120 millimeters. Alright, so once na na-prove na natin yung ating assumptions based on yielding strength and also the geometry of our area of compression block, we can now solve for the strength reduction factor. So of course, mas maganda dito kung ang magiging basis na natin dito is based on rebar strength. So yung ating rebar strength, which is 3,407.808 megapascal, this is more than 1,000 megapascal. So, ang ibig sabihin lang po niyan, yung strength reduction factor natin, this is now equal to 0.9. So, ibig sabihin po niyan, class, this is tension controlled section. Okay, so now let's determine the flexural strength of our section. So I will now proceed with the design bending moment, which is based on this criteria. So of course, ang case natin dito ay yung value ng A ay hindi lumagpas ng 120 millimeters, we will use this derived formula. So of course, yung strength reduction factor natin dito, nakasubstitute na siya already as 0.9 and isubstitute na din natin yung ibang given. So, ang masosolve natin for the value of the ultimate strength, this is now equal to 1,033.683 kilonewton meter. So, ibig sabihin ng punent class, based on this section, ang kaya niyang dalhin na moment or bending moment in terms of ultimate strength is 1,033.683 kilonewton meter. So, yan yung ating sample problem for this T-beam. If the value of A is not more than 120 millimeters.